Title: Vanishing Shadows, A Terrifying Nightfall. Part 1. The Fading Light. The city streets grew ominous as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows that stretched across the pavement. It was a crisp autumn evening, and Sarah had just finished another long day at the office. With a heavy sigh, she adjusted her scarf and started her familiar journey home. The streetlights flickered to life, illuminating her path in pools of golden light. She quickened her pace, hoping to reach the safety of her apartment soon. As Sarah walked, she couldn't shake the feeling that she was being watched. She glanced over her shoulder, her heart skipping a beat as her gaze met nothing but the darkening streets. The echoes of her footsteps seemed to be amplified in the quiet, and her own unease began to feed her paranoia. She chided herself for being so jumpy, but the knot in her stomach refused to ease. Part 2. The Unseen Threat. A few blocks from her apartment, Sarah's footsteps echoed off the walls of the narrow alleyway she had chosen as a shortcut. She could hear the distant hum of traffic, but the alley was eerily quiet. Her phone buzzed in her pocket, and she hastily pulled it out to check the message. As she looked down, her heart leaped to her throat. A figure emerged from the shadows, a hooded silhouette that sent shivers down her spine. Panic surged through her veins as she realized she was not alone. The stranger's footsteps were muffled against the pavement as he advanced toward her, his face hidden in the darkness. She turned to flee, but before she could make a move, a strong hand clamped over her mouth, stifling her scream. Sarah's heart raced, and her struggles were in vain against the stranger's iron grip. Her mind raced, trying to make sense of the situation. In the dim light, she could see the glint of a blade in his other hand. Her eyes widened in terror as she realized the gravity of her situation. Part 3. Into the Abyss. The man's cold, unrelenting grip tightened around her, and he dragged her deeper into the alley, away from the prying eyes of the street. Sarah's mind raced as fear consumed her thoughts. She fought against his hold, but his strength was overpowering. She tasted the tang of desperation, her breath coming in short, ragged gasps. The alley seemed to stretch on forever, each step taking her deeper into a nightmarish abyss. The city's distant hum became a faint memory, drowned out by the pounding of her heart. The man's gloved fingers dug into her skin, his eyes hidden behind the hood casting a predatory gaze upon her. Sarah's thoughts raced through a jumbled mess of terror and helplessness. She tried to make sense of her surroundings, to find an escape route, but her mind was a whirlwind of confusion. She desperately wished for someone, anyone, to come to her aid. Part 4. Vanishing without a trace. Days turned into weeks, and Sarah's disappearance sent shockwaves through the community. The police launched an extensive search, plastering her face on posters throughout the city. News outlets picked up the story, and her friends and family held vigils, clinging to a flicker of hope. The police interviewed witnesses who had seen her that night, piecing together the puzzle of her abduction. Some reported seeing a shadowy figure lurking in the alleys, while others recalled Sarah's frantic expressions as she glanced over her shoulder. Yet despite their best efforts, the case remained bafflingly devoid of leads. Part 5. Lingering Shadows. Months turned into years, and the memory of Sarah's abduction became a haunting specter that lingered in the minds of those who had known her. The alleyway she had disappeared from gained a sinister reputation, a place to be avoided after dark. The police continued their investigations, but the trail had gone cold, leaving behind a sense of helplessness and frustration. Sarah's family refused to give up, holding on to the hope that one day they would find her. Her friends rallied together, organizing fundraisers and awareness campaigns to keep her memory alive. The city, once vibrant and alive, had been touched by a darkness that refused to dissipate. Epilogue: A Whisper in the Wind. As time marched on, the chilling tale of Sarah's kidnapping became an urban legend, whispered among friends and told around campfires. The shadowy figure who had taken her became a specter that haunted the city's darkest corners. Each time a woman walked alone at night, the memory of Sarah's abduction cast its long shadow, but in the depths of the city's heart, a glimmer of hope still burned. The truth remained elusive, buried in the shadows and secrets that permeated the streets. And though Sarah's fate remained a mystery, her spirit endured, a reminder that even in the face of darkness, there is a resilience that refuses to be extinguished.